Welcome back, and next up we have You Can't Scare Me. A couple of different editions here.
This is really cool. In our never-ending search for Goosebumps books, we found hardcover ones. These are actually ex-library copies, which are super cool.
Yeah, they do that a lot for
these.
elementary schools. They do that because it's hardier for all the little kids to be able to take home and that kind of stuff. So.
Really excited to have this because that's really cool.
Yeah, it's a cool edition and a little more durable. So
yes,
it's fun to have that. So it's gonna be a scream. Courtney is a total show-off. She thinks she's so brave and she's always making Eddie and his friends look like wimps. But now Eddie's decided he's had enough. He's going to scare Courtney once and for all. And he's just come up with the perfect plan. He's going to lure Courtney down to Muddy Creek because Eddie knows Courtney believes in that silly rumor about the monsters. Mud monsters that live in the creek. Too bad Eddie doesn't believe the rumor because it just might be true. Bum, 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 bum.
That would be great if this was actually about the mud monsters.
Yeah,
I would have enjoyed this if it was about the mud monsters. But you see the mud monsters are like the very end of this book. The rest of it is about playing tricks on each other and scaring each other.
And sometimes that works. Some of them it works where the supernatural element doesn't come in until the very, very end. Sometimes it's, but I think that was a little more to the detriment of this one. Because sometimes that actually helps the story, but this time it really didn't.
No.
So.
I was really disappointed by that. And the kids weren't super entertaining, and I didn't really connect with any of them.
It was more about comic mischief in many ways than actual scares. And I think the one thing that it did touch upon, and I don't think it did it particularly well, but I think it touched upon a little bit to where maybe a kid might understand it on a subconscious level. I think part of the annoyance at Courtney being the brave one and whatever, I think and they even make the macho man comment.
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of that gender expectation going on in here, and how a little bit he wouldn't be quite as annoyed. He'd be annoyed, but he wouldn't be quite as almost violent towards the image of her being the brave one if she was a boy. I think it would be more of an annoyance. I can't stand that guy, but it would be different, I think.
Yeah,
I think
he had
a
a complex with it. It was just a little too much of a complex. And I don't know, they were annoying, and the dog was annoying. There was a dog. It was a Saint Bernard. His name was Buttercup. It's a stupid name for a dog.
But overall, very middle of the road. I gave it a 6 out of 10. What'd you give this one?
I gave it a 6.
Oh, it's the same. Yeah, so again, it wasn't the worst I've read so far, but it's tied towards the bottom with some of the other earlier ones, like Careful What You Wish For and stuff like that. So towards the bottom. And then on the total opposite end, one that is one of my favorites, and I think one of the fan favorites, of course.
One Day at Horrorland. We have 3 different copies here.
A bunch of
the
different
original,
versions of that one.
right
This one, original. See? Oh
That's
wait, no,
not
this is the original. Never
That's
mind.
the original.
I was looking the other way around. This is the original.
And this is the library, ex-library copy. So, Lizzie's family got lost trying to find Zoo Gardens theme park. That's stupid. What a stupid theme park. But that's okay. They found another amusement park instead. In Horrorland, there are no crowds, no lines, and the admission is free! That would be so awesome. It seems like a pretty cool place. But that was before Lizzie's heart-stopping ride on the deadly Doom Slide and that terrifying experience in the House of Mirrors. Because there's something weird about the rides in Horrorland. Something a little too creepy. A little too real. ...
That's interesting. The original print, it's slightly different on the back.
Oh, is it?
Starts with the Morris family got lost trying to find Zoo Gardens theme park. But that's okay, they found another amusement park instead. It's called Horrorland. So
that's interesting.
In Horrorland, there are no crowds, no lines, and the admission is free. It seems like a pretty cool place. And then it goes on to say, but a little bit different. But I think a very iconic cover.
Yes, very iconic cover.
Yeah, this one I think really does hold up. This is one of those few that I did remember very vividly. I remembered some of the rides and things, but I think that it was genuinely fun, and I think it was funny and terrifying. And I think there was just sort of a fun adventure element to you could picture the different theme park rides, and you almost get that theme park thrill, but with horror. In many ways, it reminds me of, I don't know if you ever played it, but in arcades, Carnival.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that in some ways, but I think you really get the theme park sense, which I think is important for this book to work, is you have to be able to feel the theme park as well as the actual fright element, and I think that worked pretty well. So I think that, overall, I think that worked incredibly well.
Yeah, I like the horrors. I thought they were interesting, and that some of them were trying to help them, and some of them didn't really care, and I really had a problem with these parents, though. I have a lot of problems with these
The
parents.
yeah.
Your car just blew up. There's no phone. You just okay, kids. You go have fun.
Yeah.
We'll figure this out.
That's a theme through most of them, though.
Yeah.
That the
These
parents are
just like out of their minds,
dim-witted. So yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought some of the rides were really cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think I liked it as much as you did.
Really?
I mean, it's a classic Goosebumps one. Like
to me,
one of the...
it's just this is one that I can picture not just myself as a kid, but I could see myself sitting down and reading this too, like a second, third grader. You know what I mean? And having a lot of fun with it and a lot of like enjoyment out of it. And that's kind of where I approach sometimes more of some of the ratings. Is like how much would I really enjoy in that context myself as a kid, or like reading with a kid who's also now that age, a second, third grader, around that age frame. Like how enjoyable would it be / terrifying in that scenario?
I really enjoyed the ending.
I think it's really pulled it off well.
I love the ending.
Yeah,
I thought that was a
the
great
whole premise.
ending.
I think it pulled off really well. Like,
I just love the horrors, and I love the TV show, and I love it. I think that's a great ending.
Yeah, I thought it was great,
really
and very
enjoyed it.
very creative, and especially compared to like the last couple, like a little more of a mixed bag.
Yeah,
like, I think we had a few in a row. Like even looking back on some of our ratings, like the Haunted Mask was the last one that I gave like a decent, like a really high
that was the
score to for number 11. So then you had
the Werewolf of Fever Swamp.
But it was again 8, but it was more. A little bit more like above the middle of the road, but overall it was like this I gave also a 9.
I gave it a 7.5.
So totally different. Like, cause to me, like the Haunted Mask is the last one I gave such a high score to. But no, definitely I have a lot more praise I think than you for this one. I realize you give it that much lower, but no, I think that like overall this is one of the most creative and the most fun overall.
I think it's definitely one of the most iconic. When you think of Goosebumps, you think of like a dozen or so.
Like Haunted Mask.
Yeah,
is one.
there's
think
a couple
of the
of
Night
them.
Living Dummy. Like,
and this is also based off of a video game. This is also. Did they do a TV show? They did it.
Yeah, they did an episode of the TV show. They did, I think, a 2-parter. I think if I remember correctly, and it's been forever seen it.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think this did work really well, and a lot of the video games, most of them are based off of this book,
which makes perfect sense.
Because it works really well for that. If you're doing it as a scary thing, or if you're doing like mini games, like I think this one translates into so many different forms compared to a lot of the other ones. You can use it different ways, but yeah, again, I think that only works because they got the theme park elements right. But again, to me, 9 out of 10.
Except for no lines.
I really like this one.
There would have been tons of lines.
Lines.
That's scary. That's scary.
That would be
the
more frightening adult
version. You just
version.
get stuck in a line forever.
Yeah.
That's really scary. And the prices.
Yeah. But those are the next 2 Goosebumps, and join us tomorrow for 2 more looks at 90s nostalgic Goosebumps.